निभाती हो। वोट दे, प्राउड वोटर कहलाऊंगी। पूरे देश संग चुनाव का पर्व मनाऊंगी।
Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India NewsHour, India's voice to the world. I am Anil Thomas. Coming up in the next hour, India witnessed a high-octane campaign for the third phase of election. Political leaders hold rallies and roadshows in various constituencies. India rejects Pakistan-China boundary agreement in Showdown Valley, lodges protest with Beijing over construction activity, says it is part of the territory of India. Humanitarian aid reaches Gaza's Jabalia. Families of Israeli hostages intensify protests, demand a deal be sealed. Hamas plans Egypt visit for further ceasefire talks in Gaza. And Solomon Islands elect China-friendly Prime Minister Jeremiah Menel pledges to continue with foreign policy that drew it closer to Beijing. Well, let's get you the latest on the world's largest democratic election in India. Well, the political fever in India is rising as top leaders of all political parties are campaigning ahead of phase 3 of the general elections. Here's a roundup of all the election activity of the day.
Campaigning for the third phase of general election is gaining momentum as the poll fever goes high in India. Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed multiple rallies in the state of Gujarat. PM addressed rallies in Surendranagar, Anand, Junagadh and the fourth campaign rally in the city of Jamnagar. Addressing poll rally, Prime Minister hit out at Congress over defaming India's stature at the international level.
आज जब भारत में कांग्रेस कमजोर हो रही है, लेकिन मजा ये है कि यहां कांग्रेस मर रही है और वहां पाकिस्तान रो रहा है। आपको पता चला होगा, कांग्रेस के लिए अब पाकिस्तानी नेता दुआ कर रहे हैं। शहजादे को प्रधानमंत्री बनाने के लिए पाकिस्तान उतावला है और हम तो जानते ही है, कांग्रेस तो पाकिस्तान की मुरीदी है। पाकिस्तान और कांग्रेस की ये पार्टनरशिप अब पूरी तरह एक्सपोज हो गई है।
Senior BJP leader and Home Minister Amit Shah held rallies in the city of Bareilly, Sitapur and Badaयूं. Whereas BJP National President JP Nadda addressed a public meeting in Madhya Pradesh, Vidisha and Arya in Bihar. Opposition party is also leaving no stone unturned to woo voters. Congress leader Priyanka Gandhi held poll rally in the state of Chhattisgarh. Rahul Gandhi addressed public rally in Shivamogga, Karnataka. He said that the Mahalakshmi scheme will change the political game in India.
कर्नाटक में हमने 5 गारंटी दी। कर्नाटक गृह लक्ष्मी 2000 रुपए हर महिला के बैंक अकाउंट में। महालक्ष्मी स्कीम हिंदुस्तान की अगली सरकार बनाने जा रही है।
Samajwadi Party chief Akhilesh Yadav addressed a public rally in Badaयूं in Uttar Pradesh. Akhilesh Yadav said that India Alliance has decided to waive farmers' loan after coming in power. As Friday is the last day of filing for nomination of the fifth phase of Lok Sabha elections, candidates from both the ruling and the opposition parties submitted their nominations, including Union Minister Dharmendra Pradhan, who filed his nomination from Odisha Sambalpur. BJP candidate Kamaljit Sehrawat also filed nomination from West Delhi. Other leaders included NDA candidate from Bihar's Hajipur Chirag Paswan and National Conference Vice President Omar Abdullah, who filed his nomination papers for the Baramulla Lok Sabha constituency in Jammu and Kashmir. Over objectionable remarks by opposition, BJP met Election Commission and accused opposition of violating Election Code of Conduct. BJP also released its 17th list of candidates for the Uttar Pradesh's parliamentary constituency. The third phase of the election will be held on 7th of May, where 93 parliamentary seats in 11 states and union territories will go to polls. Uttar Pradesh for DD India.
Well, election is the season of making promises. Some of the promises made by political parties can really touch a chord with different sections of voters. One such promise is the setting up of a food processing unit for mangoes in West Bengal's Malda, which has 2 parliamentary seats, Uttar and Dakshin, going to polls on May 7. Gautam Roy has the details.
Malda, the king among mangoes, where in Malda, the place which is named after the fruit and is also known as the mango capital of West Bengal, which is India's largest mango producing state, and India is the largest mango producer in the entire world. It's early May and the trees are laden with the fruit, and the mango orchard owners and merchants are looking forward to a grand harvest.
On an average, Malda produces 350,000 metric tons of mangoes a year using 31,000 hectares of land involving nearly 450,000 people. 3 varieties have even got the prestigious geographical indicator or GI tag, but it has no major processing facility. As ripe mangoes are perishable and there is no at-scale cost-effective technique yet to store them in bulk, experts say 25 to 30% of the harvest goes waste. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi, while campaigning in the region on the 26th of April, announced that Malda will soon have a dedicated processing facility for mangoes and makhana.
हम कहते हैं कि हमारे मालदा के किसानों का आम और मालदा के किसानों का मखाना पूरी दुनिया में फेमस है। उनकी आमदनी बढ़े, उन्हें ज्यादा पैसा मिले, इसके लिए यहां फूड प्रोसेसिंग इंडस्ट्री लगाएंगे।
यहाँ पे मदर मैंगो प्रोसेसिंग मदर इंडस्ट्री होना बहुत जरूरी है।
It is very important to have a mango mother processing industry in Malda. With the mother processing industry, ancillary units will come up around it in the Malda and nearby districts. A lot of people will get jobs because of it, who otherwise are going to other places to find jobs.
फूड प्रोसेसिंग इंडस्ट्री बन जाएगा, मदर इंडस्ट्री बन जाएगा, तो यहाँ के आदमी लोग यहाँ पे अपना डिस्ट्रिक्ट में, अपना स्टेट में काम कर सकेगा।
A pilot processing facility for mangoes and other produce like honey has been set up in Malda's Central Government Horticulture Research Centre to support local tribals, particularly women. Its products are 100% natural and will soon be available on e-commerce platforms.
ICR is going to support in a big way. We'd like to have a bigger facility at this station so that we can render best of the support to the women as well as other entrepreneurs from different parts of West Bengal as well as adjoining states of the states.
Mangoes are the mainstay of Malda's economy. Both Uttar and Dakshin Malda parliamentary seats are going to polls on the 7th of May in the third of India's 7-phase national elections. Clearly, it's a high-stakes election for both Malda's Aam, which means mango in Hindi, and Aam Matdata, or in English, the common voter. With camera person Uttam Singh, Gautam Roy, Dakshin Malda, DD India.
Well, the central state of Chhattisgarh is set to hold elections in the third phase on May 7th, with 7 seats going to polls. A compelling political showdown appears imminent. Our correspondent Siddharth Bharadwaj brings us the latest.
The state of Chhattisgarh is all geared up to go to polls in third phase of the general elections 2024. There are 11 seats up for grabs here. Voting for the first and second phase is done, and this time around in third phase, the polling will be done in 7 constituencies come May 7th. In the state's capital Raipur, The contest is predominantly between the Bharatiya Janata Party and the Congress. Brij Mohan Agrawal, a senior leader, has been fielded this time by the BJP as the party seeks to maintain their stronghold in the region yet again. During an exclusive conversation with DD India, he expressed certainty that all 11 seats would be won by the BJP.
कांग्रेस से 25,000 लोग अभी तक बीजेपी में शामिल हो चुके हैं छत्तीसगढ़ में। वो इस बात की ओर इंगित करता है कि बीजेपी भारी बहुमत से जीत कर आ रही है और 11 की 11 सीटें छत्तीसगढ़ में जीतेगी और मोदी जी का जो 400 पार का नारा है उस नारे में छत्तीसगढ़ का भी महत्वपूर्ण योगदान होगा।
On the contrary, the Congress party is making every effort to assert its presence among citizens by pledging improved facilities across all sectors.
We don't understand what Bharatiya Janata Party's policy is going to save people's life, because the main issues is only unemployment and price rise.
As the polling date nears, the political landscape of this region is growing increasingly intriguing with each passing day.
Well, the election fervor is certainly gripping the country, and the state of Chhattisgarh will go to polls on May 7 in third phase. And here in Raipur, although it's a stronghold of BJP, but this time around, we can see an interesting political showdown between the BJP and the Congress. But ultimately, it rests in the hand of voters who will be casting their ballot on May 7 and will decide as to who will be leading their constituency this time. With camera person Sarda Ranjan, this is Siddharth Bharadwaj reporting for DD India in Chhattisgarh.
Well, from Chhattisgarh to Uttar Pradesh, where the glass industry of Firozabad in Uttar Pradesh is suffering a huge slump because of supply chain disruptions and the fall in demand for glass at home and abroad. In election season, it has become an issue in this North Indian parliamentary constituency, and we've got Amritpal Singh who gets us the latest from ground zero.
What comes to your mind when you think of these gorgeous glass lamps and eye-catching figurines? That these are from Belgium or France? No, don't go that far. Firozabad, a small dusty town in the northern Indian state of Uttar Pradesh, has been manufacturing over 80% of all utility and decoration-based glass products for India's domestic market for several decades. It also exports these products to countries like Australia, Brazil, Canada, the United States and the United Kingdom. No wonder then that this industrial town is called the Glass City of India. These artisans also manufacture lampwork glass to produce unique handicrafted products, especially the famous bangles of Firozabad. But the 2 centuries-old industry is slowly losing its glitter, and that has become a burning issue here in election season. Factory owners and workers complain of issues like supply chain disruptions, to lack of skilled manpower, to the onslaught from cheaper alternatives like plastic.
The basic requirement in this industry is skilled labor. Lack of skilled labor, because the size of industry is growing up very fast. That requires skilled manpower. We want a basic institute which can improve the skill of the labor so that we can compete with the global players.
For the further need and for the requirements of the generation, upcoming generation, we need to ban the plastics. I know it is cheaper than the glass, but for the future and all the survivals and all that we see daily on the basis, like we have something facing for the due to plastics.
Workers here don't want to say it on camera, but many of those we spoke to tell us off camera that this has led to disenchantment with the political class. The Firozabad glass industry is estimated to be more than 1 lakh crore rupees, which roughly comes about $12 million US. Both the manufacturers and workers, which are over 10 lakh, directly and indirectly involved in the manufacturing of the glass, where here say they expect from the representative to push for policies that give a boost to this industry. With cameraman Yogesh Kumar, this is Amritpal Singh for DDI India in Firozabad, Uttar Pradesh.
Well, still to come on DD India News Hour. The land of Mahatma Gandhi and Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, Gujarat, gets ready for polls in a single phase on the 7th of this month. The US accuses Russia of using chemical weapons in Ukraine armed conflict. And Indonesia volcano eruption spreads ash to Malaysia and shuts airports.
E-waste is growing phenomenally in India, and I think it's time that we reconsidered our consumption patterns.
We need to formalize repairs, we need to formalize refurbishments, and by law also they are permitted.
It expands their repair network, the consumer gets benefit because it's cheaper and it's accessible, and the guy is able to make a living.
Government policies and in fact the road engineering policy says the surface road should have a better product. Adding the crumb rubber to the bitumen overcome with its inherent weaknesses.
I felt the urge to try to change something, especially multi-layered plastics can't be recycled. It's a huge burden on our environment.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Anil Thomas. Well, time now to get our correspondents there on the ground joining us in this news bulletin. Gautam joining us from Murshidabad in West Bengal. We've got Akshay Dongre joining us from Bhopal in Madhya Pradesh. Let's first, and also we've got one more correspondent joining us. That's Amritpal Singh joining us from Hathras. Let me first come to you, Gautam. Gautam, looking at the 4 seats, West Bengal seats, there is legacy, there is popularity, and these 4 seats, that's where the minorities, population is in majority. How do you see this particular election, this particular phase play out in West Bengal?
Well, it is quite interesting. The composition is quite interesting. How the contest has evolved over the course of different Lok Sabha elections, Anil, is also very interesting because it has shown the transition of the contest, the way things have gone throughout the country as well. In a way, it's mirrored that because initially it was the Congress that used to dominate. Then there was the phase of the left for more than 2 decades. And then the last decade has been dominated by the TMC. And you mentioned the fact that the minorities have an upper hand in terms of the numbers here, in terms of the numbers voters in Murshidabad. It's about 60% itself. But there is the legacy of 2 big Congress stalwarts to consider as well. Pranab Mukherjee, India's president at one time, and before that, union minister holding different portfolios from foreign to finance, represented Jangipur at least twice. Then it went to his son, and then it was Trinamool Congress that took over. And we have seen the BJP making inroads as well with 1 seat in Uttar Malda, which is with Khagen Murmu. And this time as well, he's having a fair amount of support because he's set to be popular with tribal leaders. So the composition is quite interesting. It's a 3-cornered fight. If you look at what's happening in Murshidabad, again, the Congress and the left have come together. And there's a Politburo member of the CPM, Mohammed Salim, who's in the contest as well. So everyone seems to be fancying their chances here. And the people are keeping their cards close to their chest. There have been incidents, unsavory incidents here in Murshidabad as well, if you go back to what happened in Ram Navami, and that is still sort of having its ripples even now because of the kind of utterances that are taking place from different leaders. One TMC MLA has said something a little unpalatable even now, but let's see how things go when it comes to the 7th, which is voting day, and then of course the counting in June.
Okay, let's also get our correspondent Akshay joining us from Bhopal. Akshay, good evening. Akshay, looking at 144 candidates there for 9 seats in Madhya Pradesh, how do you see, some of the key political issues playing out, looking at the big wigs that are there in the election fray?
Well, Anil, while there are a lot of candidates in the poll free for the elections in Madhya Pradesh, especially in the third phase of elections, the major contest has always been in the state of Madhya Pradesh between the Bharatiya Janata Party and the Indian National Congress. Not a lot of local or regional parties have had a chance to emerge as big players because of the big regional players that are already invested in the state and in the way they have been doing their politics. Shivraj Singh Chauhan has been the Chief Minister of State for 18 years. He has been a member of Parliament for 5 terms from his constituency, Vidisha and Budni. He has been a member of Legislative Assembly for 6 terms. So under Shivraj Singh Chauhan and before him, when the Congress used to be here, there was not a lot of scope for the regional players to in fact emerge as huge political players. So while the competition is going on, there are some local leaders that are emerging that in fact are emerging at local level. Not a lot of impact has been seen at the national level elections, especially when we talk about the Lok Sabha elections and the third phase of it. There are a lot of big seats, including Vidisha, there is Guna, there is Bhopal, and then there is Rajgarh as well. From Guna we have the Union Aviation Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia contesting. From Rajgarh we have former Chief Minister Digvijay Singh from the Indian National Congress contesting against the incumbent Member of Parliament Rodmal Nagar. From Vidisha we have Shivraj Singh Chauhan himself contesting from the seat against the Indian National Congress candidate Pratap Bhanu Sharma, and here we have the BJP and the Congress as key players. But there has been a sense of anti-incumbency in certain areas which can in fact give a rise to the local parties or the regional players to emerge. But that in this election at least, that not a lot of scope has been left for the regional parties, and it seems that it's either going to be the BJP or the Indian National Congress that can grab certain seats here from the state of Madhya Pradesh. And in all likelihood, it seems that the BJP has always had a slightly upper hand as far as the politics of Madhya Pradesh is concerned at the national level, because it's not just the 2019 or 2014 election. Even in 2009 elections, the BJP had outperformed the Congress party. This is a Hindi belt. BJP has a stronghold here. Bhopal is considered a saffron fort by many. So it remains to be seen that whether the Congress party this time around will be able to make some dent, because the last time in 2019 the Congress could only manage to win 1 seat out of 29 and BJP got 28. In 2014 BJP got 27 and Congress only got 2. So it remains to be seen what happens this time.
Gautam, looking at Battleground Bengal, do you see this as to be the most, or do you see this to be a tough phase, especially for the Election Commission of India, looking at the assembly elections, the Lok Sabha elections last time around, purely in terms of security issues?
Well, yes, this is a sensitive part of the country as well, where this area is very close to Bangladesh as well. And because of how the equation is in terms of the demographics, the communal equation as well, that is a sensitive issue. And the Election Commission will ensure that there is proper deployment already. It's put the elections in Bengal for the 42 seats in all 7 phases, and it's been split up in that manner as well. The first phase there were 3 seats, and then in this one there are 4. So there will be adequate security deployment as well to ensure that things go peacefully. But again, with the kind of situation that is there, even a small incident can lead to a bit of a conflagration, and one has to keep a close eye on everything that is taking place till the 7th. Excuse me.
Okay, Gautam, you pick a glass of water. Let me quickly get Akshay in. Akshay, we've seen the assembly elections in November. We're getting ready for another big elections in the month of April and May. How are the party workers keeping themselves motivated? Because that's a tough ask, especially for the 2 big players.
Well, it's just hope, Anil. I think that is keeping the party workers motivated. specifically when we talk about the BJP, the government has, in fact, the Bharatiya Janata Party has been going ahead with a slogan of 400 par, which means that this time they want to win 400 seats. It can only be possible if the BJP is able to manage several states. They have to sweep several states. They have been sweeping Gujarat, they have been sweeping the state of Rajasthan as well, and Madhya Pradesh is one of the bigger states that is in poll fray this time around. So that is one factor that is keeping the BJP cadre motivated, whereas for the Indian National Congress, it is going to be the exploiting the anti-incumbency that has been there in the state, try to gather some more seats, try to dent the poll prospects of the Bharatiya Janata Party, and try to make, in fact, a comeback in the state, going ahead with the issues that the BJP could not resolve and making a political issue out of that. So all of that is in fact giving hope to the party workers. In this heat, people have been in fact campaigning, working hard for days and for months, in fact, preparing for these Lok Sabha elections. So that is perhaps one of the reasons why the party workers have been working for BJP. It's an absolute victory. That is the motivation factor for the Congress party. It is denting BJP's political prospects and in fact breaching this saffron citadel here in the central India. That is keeping the party workers motivated. But as far as the politics goes, it is going to be a tough competition this time around, because we have seen in the legislative assembly elections in the previous and in the last elections as well, the Congress party has cadre in the state of Madhya Pradesh as well. They have voters as well, but they have to in fact motivate them to come out. And in fact, as far as the Modi wave is concerned, that has been there in 2014, 2019, and this time around as well. The popularity of the Prime Minister is one thing that the Congress party has been trying to breach, has been unable to, and they are still consistently trying in this election as well. So it remains to be seen what happens once the results come out for the state of Madhya Pradesh.
Well, yes, politics is always known to throw up something surprising. We'll leave it there. Thank you both, Akshay as well as Gautam, for joining us this evening on NewsHour, making us understand how these elections are crucial from a political landscape and also from the perspective of the Election Commission. Well, staying with elections, Ahmedabad, the cultural capital of Gujarat, is buzzing with election activity. It will go to polls on the 7th of this month. DD India Shubhendu Ghosh tracks the development from the historical Sabarmati Ashram to the modern Sabarmati riverfront.
As the elections to determine the future of India is fought across the country, we are here at the Sabarmati Ashram in Ahmedabad. In many ways, this is the place where the idea of modern India took shape. Mahatma Gandhi's humble abode, the modest charkha, became the most powerful symbols of non-violent resistance and self-reliance, ideas that would shape the destiny of the world's largest democracy.
If you look at the ashram itself, the rules and regulation which he himself wrote, it's here at the Hriday Kunj, that no discrimination, which he has learned from South Africa time, because he has experienced the racial discrimination. So in ashram, the first value he said that no discrimination of caste, class, gender. That is, I think, one of the major elements of democracy.
From Sabarmati Ashram to the modern Sabarmati riverfront, today Ahmedabad has transformed into a bustling metropolis, a UNESCO heritage city that is also a symbol of aspirational and developing Gujarat. As the city and the state go into polls on May 7th, political parties are leaving no stone unturned to woo the voters.
From Mahatma's ideals to real politics, Gujarat today is BJP's bastion, This is the home turf of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. BJP swept all the 26 seats in 2014 and 2019. All eyes are on whether BJP can achieve a hat-trick or whether the Congress and Aam Aadmi Party alliance can spring a surprise.
हम लेडीज़ है तो हम कभी भी रात को 12 बजे भी अगर जॉब के हिसाब से घर जाए तो हमको लगना चाहिए कि नहीं हम पूरे सेफ कंट्री में रह रहे हैं।
एजुकेशन जो वेरी कॉस्टली हो रहा है तो जो फीस लेवल है बहुत हाई है तो सभी लोग अफोर्ड नहीं कर पा रहे हैं।
94 Lok Sabha seats spread across 12 states and union territories, including Gujarat, will be up for grabs in the third phase of elections. The results will be declared on June 4th. With camera person Krishna, Shubhendu Ghosh, DD India, Ahmedabad.
Well, we're joined by our correspondent Amritpal Singh joining us from Hathras in Uttar Pradesh. Amrit, good evening. Amrit, how would you look at especially the suspense, that continues to build, with nomination day, the final countdown for it. We still don't know, Raebareli, Amethi, nothing coming from the opposition camp on what's their next move.
Absolutely, it's really surprising in political circles that Raebareli, Amethi, which used to be the bastions of the Nehru Gandhi family, have not been announced for a very talk has been both within Congress that will Priyanka Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi be fielded from there. Remember when the CEC met a few days back, they said that they have urged to Sonia Gandhi and the Congress president that they be fielded, but apparently there was reluctance on part of Rahul Gandhi to be fielded. But then again this evening sources, this news came in citing sources that Rahul Gandhi could file his nominations. It's not very clear because officially the Congress hasn't still made it clear. Tomorrow, Friday, the last day of nominations to close. Smriti Irani has already filed a nomination from Amethi, so that leaves them with very less days to campaign. So it is indeed surprising and in a way sending very confused. I was today Jain Chaudhary of the RLD, who was earlier an ally of the Congress the last time around, now joined the NDA just before the elections. I asked him about this, saying that they are your former allies. What do you make of it and how you read it? He said they are confused. That's what Amit Shah a few days back said. Smriti Irani, taking a swipe at Rahul Gandhi in Wayanad, had said that he will abandon Wayanad too, though he's already filed his nominations from there. So it is damaging for the Congress, and that surprises everybody, that why are they keeping it under wraps for the last minute. Anil?
Okay, also looking at the other seats in Uttar Pradesh, especially, Mainpuri, from where the Yadav clan is looking for keeping the legacy of Mulayam Singh Yadav, and also the seat of Agra where Satyapal Singh Baghel is fighting. How do you see these two seats and the fight that's taking place with the regional forces and the national parties?
Again, you very rightly say that Mainpuri is, the constituency of the Samajwadi Party Supremo. His father won the election, Mulayam Singh Yadav, who was then the Supremo of the Samajwadi Party in 2019 and won. And after he passed away, Dimple Yadav, his daughter-in-law and wife of Akhilesh Yadav, contested the polls and became the MP from there. She's the outgoing MP from there. She's now also the candidate. We saw Akhilesh campaign for her. Well, the voter caste combination dynamic suits them. Traditionally for them, the Muslim Yadav vote was their traditional vote bank, and that does suit them, and she is a very, very strong candidate. But overall, if you look at the 10 constituencies going to polls, out of them, if in 2019 the BJP had won 8, the Samajwadi Party could only retain 2 of them. One is Sambal and the other is this. this. It remains to be seen whether they can improve their tally, but it is a serious two-way contest between them. You spoke about SP Singh Baghel, who is a Minister of State in the Narendra Modi government, of which the tenure ends now. He is a strong candidate from here. It's a reserved seat. Agra and Hathras are the two reserved seats. So he has a very strong candidature there. Most of the places that go to polls on the 7th, it's a two-way fight, except for one seat of Fatehpur Sikri, where the Congress candidate is strong. Also, the BSP is in fight in 3 seats, is giving a strong fight. Now, we'll have to see, in the overall poll arithmetic, who causes how much damage to the other will determine the outcome of that. But overall, the BJP remains a dominant force here, and the Mulayam family or the Yadav family have a considerable hold over both Mainpuri and Sambhal. They are in a very strong position.
Well, the big talking point coming from Uttar Pradesh this evening is for the first time that the BJP has dropped its heavyweight leader, sitting MP Brijbhushan Sharan from Kaisarganj. That's the big talking point that's coming, giving that ticket to his son, Karan. We'll talk about that on some other evening. The producer says no more time for further discussions. Thank you. Appreciate you joining us this evening. Amritpal Singh from Hathras in Uttar Pradesh. Well, still to come on DD India NewsHour. OECD lifts global growth outlook as US-China outperform expectations. Day 10 of the hush money case, and Donald Trump faces the prospect of additional sanctions.
Ten states and 1 union territory with 93 constituencies go to vote in Phase 3 of the Lok Sabha elections on May 7. Gujarat, Karnataka and Goa will be under the spotlight as all Lok Sabha seats go to polls. We track the states from the north, west and south in Phase 3 on the Great Indian Election at 8:30 p.m. IST only on DD India.
Well, you're watching DD India NewsHour. I'm Anil Thomas. Staying with elections, but dipping down south to Karnataka. The VIP seat of Shimoga in Karnataka is witnessing another tussle apart from the rival candidates' high-profile campaigning. S. Bangarappa, former Chief Minister of the state, represented the area throughout his political career. Now after him, the Bangarappa family find itself divided into two rival camps. The elder brother is with the BJP, while the younger one is helping his sister, who's a Congress candidate from the seat. We've got Ravi Diman with the details.
Politics often springs up surprises, sometimes good and sometimes not so pleasant. As BJP and Congress fight it out for a claim to the VIP seat of Shimoga in Karnataka, voters are witnessing an intense sibling rivalry unfold in front of their eyes. As BJP and Congress leaders campaign extensively in this seat, brothers and sisters are finding themselves on the opposite side of the political divide.
Shimoga seat is witnessing star power in these elections, with many Karnataka film industry stars campaigning for both the BJP nominee B.S. Raghavendra and the Congress candidate Geeta Shivrajkumar. But another aspect that is the talk of the town is the sibling rivalry. Geeta Shivrajkumar is getting all the support she needs from her younger brother S. Madhu Bangarappa. But her elder brother Kumar Bangarappa is a BJP leader and is campaigning extensively throughout the constituency for the party candidate B.S. Raghavendra. Kumar says the legacy of his father and the former Chief Minister of the state S. Bangarappa cannot be just claimed by anyone.
The Indie alliance itself is not a true
alliance like. I mean, it is a fake alliance all over the nation. So here also they have formed one alliance like, and they are going forward with it. It's a very common feature for Shimoga district that every time my brother comes or my sister comes, they fight, and every time they come up with a different party. This time they have come up with a Congress party.
Geeta, on her part, dismisses the statements of her elder brother, insisting that she will carry on S. Bangarappa's legacy.
My father in Shimoga, like wherever I go, I see him here with the people. When anybody takes his name, huge round of applause is there for him. So that will help me.
S. Madhu Bangarappa, the younger brother of Kumar Bangarappa, is also not very keen to give any attention whatsoever to the fact that Kumar is campaigning for the rival candidate. A minister in the Congress government in the state, Madhu dismisses his elder brother's presence, adding that he is irrelevant to the politics in Shimoga.
I don't like to bring in family matters or anything like that. He's not a concern at all, and he's not a concern to even BJP also, I think.
The siblings' rivalry is not new. In 2023 assembly elections, Madhu Bangarappa defeated Kumar from the Soraba seat, which is part of the Shimoga Lok Sabha constituency. As Shimoga gets ready to elect its new member of parliament, old rivalries continue to foster interesting new challenges for the parties and for the Bangarappa family. With camera person More Mukut Sharma, Ravi Dhiman, DD India in Shimoga.
Well, India's Prime Minister, in an interview to a private TV network, opened up about a range of subjects, from discussing the ongoing general elections to BJP's development agenda for the country. The Prime Minister delves into crucial topics. During the interview, Prime Minister slammed the opposition and said that no one believes their commitments.
मेरा हर शब्द एक जिम्मेवारी है, मेरा हर शब्द मेरी एक गारंटी है, उस रूप में मैं करता हूं। बाकियों ने इन शब्दों की डिवैल्यूएशन कर रहे हैं, मैं उसका कुछ कर नहीं सकता हूं, लेकिन कोई मुझे बता दे साहब, उनके नाना परनाना, आप उनके भाषण सुनिए या लाल किले पर गरीबी की बातें की है, उनकी दादी उन्होंने गरीबी की बातें की, उनके पिताजी गरीबी की बातें की, उनकी माताजी जब रिमोट सरकार चलाती तब भी गरीबी, और अब कह रहे हैं हम खटाखट गरीबी हटा देंगे, एक झटके में गरीबी हटा देंगे। कौन भरोसा करेगा भाई? उसमें मोदी को कुछ कहने की जरूरत नहीं है, मुझे उनकी आलोचना करने की भी जरूरत नहीं है, लेकिन देश देखता है, देश देखता है। उसी प्रकार से जब मैं कहूँ कि भाई मैं आपके लिए मेहनत करूंगा, इस देश का कोई भी व्यक्ति मेरी इस बात पर अविश्वास नहीं करेगा। बाकी कोई भी नेता कहेगा कि मैं मेहनत करूंगा, मुझे बताइए कितना भरोसा करेंगे? सिंपल सा भी क्वेश्चन, मुझे देखा है, उसको पूछना यार मोदी कह रहा है करेगा मेहनत, पूछना नहीं पड़ता है। तो मेरा जीवन, मेरी वाणी और मेरी गारंटी, ये सब एक सूत्र में है जी।
Well, Prime Minister also shared insights into his vision for the upcoming elections and outlined his agenda for addressing the pressing issues facing the nation.
मुझे चिंता ये है कि डिक्शनरी की सारी गालियां खत्म हो गई, अब ये बेचारे करेंगे क्या? तो अब उनको कोई रिसर्च टीम बनानी पड़ेगी कि भाई मोदी के लिए कोई नई गालियां खोजो, क्योंकि सारी डिक्शनरी उन्होंने एक प्रकार से मुझे गालियां देने के लिए इस्तेमाल कर ली है। और हो सकता है कि गिनीज बुक ऑफ वर्ल्ड रिकॉर्ड बन जाएगा कि एक व्यक्ति को सार्वजनिक जीवन में इतनी भद्दी, इतनी ज्यादा, इतनी बार गालियां खानी पड़ रही है। लेकिन देखिए, मैं तो परमात्मा में श्रद्धा रखने वाला व्यक्ति हूं, मैं शिव का भी उपासक हूं, शक्ति का भी उपासक हूं, और शिव ने तो विष पीना सिखाया है। अगर मुझे अमृत की हिफाजत करनी है तो विष पीना है, और तो मेरे जिम में आया है तो मैं करूंगा।
Well, India's Ministry of External Affairs spokesperson said that New Delhi has lodged a protest with China against its illegal attempts to alter the facts on the ground with regards to Beijing's construction activities especially in the Shashgam Valley.
We have never accepted the so-called China-Pakistan boundary agreement of 1963, through which Pakistan unlawfully attempted to cede the area to China, and have consistently conveyed our rejection of the same. We have registered a protest with the Chinese side against illegal attempts to alter facts on the ground. We further reserve the right to take necessary measures to safeguard our interests.
Well, moving on, Russia has responded to U.S. allegations over Kremlin using chemical weapons against Ukrainian forces in violation of a chemical weapons convention. Washington accused Russia of using chloropersin, a choking agent, on Ukrainian military and using riot control agents as a method of warfare. Kremlin called all accusations baseless and stressed that Russia remained bound by its obligations under the Chemical Weapons Treaty. Legislators in the Solomon Islands elected the country's former foreign minister Jeremiah Manel as the new prime minister on Thursday. Manel said that he will maintain the Pacific Islands nation's China-friendly stance. He secured 31 votes in a secret ballot. The parliamentary vote was conducted under tight security in the capital, Honiara. Manel's appointment comes after a national election last month that failed to deliver a majority to any political party. Well, a quick look at other stories making news around the world. Pope Francis on Thursday met with the King of Jordan, Abdullah II, at the Vatican. The 87-year-old pontiff gifted Abdullah II with a mosaic painting made by the Vatican Mosaic Studio, while the Jordanian monarch offered a metal sculpture composed of Arabic letters. The Vatican said their private talks lasted 30 minutes. French President Emmanuel Macron welcomed Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida at the Elysee Palace on Thursday. Kishida was in Paris to celebrate the 60th anniversary of its membership in the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, or OECD. The two leaders were to discuss economic cooperation, especially in the civil, nuclear, as well as in the science, technology and culture spectrum. Homes on Indonesia's Tagulandang Island turned into wreck after the latest eruption in the Ruang volcano. Heavy rain and volcanic debris such as rocks and ash damaged some buildings and roofs. Tuesday's eruption prompted authorities to evacuate more than 12,000 people from the nearby islands. The Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, OECD, on Thursday raised its growth forecast for India by 40 basis points to 6.6% for the year 2025. This is holding that buoyant public investment and improved business confidence are expected to propel India's GDP growth. On the global front, GDP growth is projected to be 3.1% in 2024, unchanged from 2023, before edging up to 3.2% in 2025, helped by stronger real income growth and lower policy interest rates. The developments continue to diverge across countries, with softer outcomes in Europe and most low-income countries offset by strong growth in the United States and many large emerging market economies. In the latest on the Israel-Gaza armed conflict, humanitarian aid arrived late on Wednesday to Gaza's Jabalia after Israel reopened the lone crossing on the northern edge of the Strip, allowing 8 trucks to pass through the Erez checkpoint, which was destroyed during the Hamas attack on the 7th of October last year. Meanwhile, Hamas chief Ismail Haniyeh discussed the ongoing Gaza ceasefire talks in a separate phone call with Egypt's intelligence chief Abbas Kamel and Qatar's Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Mohammed bin Abdul Rahman Al Thani. Let's take a look at this next report.
It was breather for those awaiting aid. The humanitarian aid finally reached Gaza's Jabalia on Wednesday after Israel reopened the lone crossing on the northern edge of the Strip, allowing 8 trucks to pass through the Erez checkpoint.
This is the first day that we reopened Erez crossing for a robust and continuous route for entrance of humanitarian aid into Gaza. As you can see behind me, those are the first trucks that came in today from Jordan, and we're gonna run this crossing hopefully every day.
These are the visuals of families of Israeli hostages still awaiting their loved ones. Their only request to the government is to reach a deal.
We are in a horrible situation when we have still 133 hostages in Gaza. And we came this morning in front of the house of the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to demand and to tell him and to remind him that all the eyes of the women in the hostages and the men and the citizens of Israel are on him and on the cabinet. And we are demanding to bring this deal, this sensitive deal that we have the opportunity to have now, to bring back all our sisters and our brothers back home. That's it, and we're not going to stop until they will be back in home.
Some are even against opening of Rafah border.
I'm against the entrance to Rafah. We need to stop the war. We need to bring back the hostages home. Enough, it's 7 months already. There is no time for the hostages. They will be all dead until they'll come home.
A new delegation from Hamas is set to visit Egypt soon for further ceasefire talks in Egypt. Earlier on Saturday, Hamas said it had received Israel's latest position and would study it before submitting a reply. After Blinken's Israel visit, Germany's Chancellor Olaf Scholz held talks with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and discussed a deal for the release of all the remaining hostages held by Hamas. They spoke about a possible ceasefire and more aid for the people in Gaza. India once again reiterated its support for a two-state solution where Palestinians can live freely in an independent country with due regard to the security needs of Israel.
India is committed to supporting a two-state solution where the Palestinian people are able to live freely in an independent country within secure borders with due regard to the security needs of Israel.
But despite all this, will a deal be sealed soon remains to be seen. Well, Israel's war cabinet is set to convene in the coming hours, followed by a wider security cabinet meeting to discuss the latest ceasefire and hostage deal that's been reviewed by Hamas. They have indicated it's not happy with the current proposal and is asking for amendments to be made. Sarah Coates has more from Tel Aviv.
Well, all eyes are on Cairo, with Hamas saying it'll send a delegation in the coming hours to discuss the latest hostage and ceasefire proposal that is on the table. Well, as it stands, the group says that its response is negative, but it still will not walk away from talks unless a Rafah operation happens. And this is really the main issue here. This is something that the Israelis have been saying for the last few days will happen. So really the bottom line here is if there is no deal, we can expect this Rafah operation to take place in the near future. And this is certainly something that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is coming under a lot of pressure from. He's under pressure from his war cabinet, people like Benny Gantz, to cut a deal with Hamas and potentially hold off this Rafah operation, with Benny Gantz saying that the hostages are far more important than any military action. While on the other hand, you have the far right flank of Netanyahu's government, people like Itamar Ben-Gvir, the national security minister, and also Bezalel Smotrich, the finance minister, who are once again threatening to walk away from the government and collapse the government if Israel and the Prime Minister make a reckless deal with Hamas, and also abandon plans to go down into Rafah, where some 1.3 million internally displaced Palestinians are sheltering. In Tel Aviv, Sarah Coates reporting for DD India.
Well, former US President Donald Trump's criminal hush money trial hearing is currently underway in New York after a break on Wednesday. New York prosecutors are set to request further penalties against Trump for allegedly breaching a gag order imposed by the court. Prosecutors are seeking an additional $4,000 as fine on top of the $9,000 penalty already imposed by Justice Juan Merchan earlier this week. CAG of India, Girish Chandra Murmu, who's on an official visit to Nepal, met the Auditor General of Nepal, Toyama Raya, and signed an MOU today on cooperation in the field of public sector audit. CHE called on Prime Minister of Nepal, Pushpakamal Dahal, and briefed him regarding the ongoing cooperation between the Supreme Audit Institution of India and Nepal and the MOU signed in the field of public sector audit. CAG also called on the Finance Minister of Nepal, Parsaman Pan. Close partnership between the Supreme Audit Institutions of India and Nepal adds yet another dimension to a multifaceted relationship. High Commissioner of India to Sri Lanka, Santosh Jha, who is on an official visit to the eastern province, paid floral tributes to the statue of Mahatma Gandhi at Battleground today. High Commissioner said that the ferry service between India and Sri Lanka would resume soon. Sri Lankan port authorities have also said that the service would resume from the 13th of May with a price reduction as well.
No, we are starting it, I think, in middle of May, just 2 weeks from now. We will have the ferry service starting from Nagapattinam to Kankasanture. So if everything goes well, the preparations are on, and I think the boat service will start again.
Well, that's all for this edition of DD India News Hour, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I am Anil Thomas from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India News Hour.